You're watching the Eternal Tournament Series.
Hello and welcome back to the Season 4 ETS Invitational. We are still in the losers bracket here. Playing the winner of this will go to loser semifinals, and the loser will get 5th. And we have Tabu on Burn Queen against Tiger HC on Xenon Killers, kind of his signature deck.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of strong performances out of this deck. In particular, it's done very well against a lot of the Combre archetypes, just for the immense amount of draw power you can get out of the Dawnwalkers and Friendly Wisps, in addition to some fun and cool combos with Amulet and Instigator and Overwhelm units. Burn Queen, of course, is the standard just kill them until they're dead option, in which you are basically trying to be as incredibly aggressive as possible. You're finishing with Flame Blasts if you can do it, and Bandit Queen is just buffing all of your unit-based strategies and making it so that you have a lot of efficient and really aggressive stuff to be playing.
Yeah, trying to block against Burn Queen, an exercise in futility. It just makes you feel silly. So this matchup is really going to come down to whether Tiger can stabilize early game. He doesn't have a lot of 2-drops, just Friendly Wisps and Archerport Instigators, and the Wisps in particular are not good blockers. So if he doesn't Vara's favor Tabu's 1-drops and then presents some big blockers right away, he's going to get crushed.
Yep, could be a rough matchup for him. We see Tiger's opening hand currently has Vara's favor and Friendly Wisp in it. It's got 2 power, so he'll be able to generate 3 if he wants to keep this one. It's a kind of an awkward one, but we should be giving both players the go-ahead in just a second, and they'll be getting started trying to see what they are looking at. Tabu's hand
and so Tabu doesn't have a 1 or 2-drop, throws it back. Tiger on the draw probably can afford to keep such a slow hand, and Vara's favor is really good.
Yep, we are seeing the Vara's favor. It looks like he might end up keeping this hand, and it's going to be a bit of a tricky one. Pyro Knight and
hand is just so pretty.
Instigator.
7 premium cards. These guys who go to the lengths and like the dedication to fully premium out their deck of choice, you got to respect that. They're saying, this is my deck. I play this deck really well. I'm willing to commit hundreds of thousands of stones to make it look as great as possible.
It's looking like it's getting a lot done. So we're seeing the setup. Looks like Tiger may not have gotten the go-ahead yet, or maybe he's just trying to figure out if this hand is worth it. Either way, we'll be waiting for him to decide before we start up the game. Instigator on Tabu's end is the redraw, and that's a pretty good pickup. You got your 1-drop into your 2-drop, you have Bandit Queen to back up later, and then Obliterate to finish things out. All Tabu has to draw is more gas, and he's already on curve to win this game.
Yeah, and he's on the play too, so this is going to be a quick and brutal one, it looks like.
Could be a very, very fast matchup, especially since Tiger's current power setup is very, very slow and behind. I don't know if the Xenon Killers deck has a great matchup against Stone Scar. It's a little bit rough, and it might be one of the particular weaknesses of this deck. Tiger has 4 Vara's favor to help him out, and he does have the ability to get Beast Color's Amulet on sneaky units, and sometimes get a little bit of advantage that way. But Instigators on his side are going to end up hurting him more than harming him. He doesn't have a lot of lifesteal. Copper Conduits are really happy to die most of the time, but it's also just not great if he is only playing Copper Conduits, because this deck can go pretty wide. So I think that Tiger is not favored to win this one, unless he gets really, really good draws.
Yeah, Copper Conduit's another interesting one in this matchup. Like, usually you think of it as a way to trigger Dawnwalker again as a 5/5 and Dark Return and just get like a 12/12 or bigger Overwhelm unit. But in matchups like this, you often just play it as a 1/1 or a 2/2 just to trade with something early on.
And then when you Dark Return it back, it's just a little bit stronger, which is all you need. Tiger can now play down his Argenport Instigator, but is it better to annihilate the other Argenport Instigator? Normally I would say no, but in this situation, basically a Torch just deals 2 damage plus 3. That's really, really ugly for Tiger, and he might just want to try and keep these guys under control.
Yeah, this is the squeeze that Stone Scar Burn puts you into. Like, generally, yes, you'd want to play the bigger unit to invalidate your opponent's units. Then you like block them, and then you eventually present more large threats and start swinging over, and like their little guys can't stop all your big guys. But against Stone Scar Burn, if you try to do that, all it takes is a Torch or an Obliterate, and then the tick damage from Argenport Instigators effect really starts adding up, and suddenly you're just like at 15, and then you die to a couple burn spells. So yep, I think Tiger takes the correct line with the Annihilate.
Yep, he picks up one of his star cards in this matchup, which is Vara's Favor. Being able to take out units and gain a little bit of extra health is so good here, especially when you're fixing your power in the process. Tabu has to drop a Bandit Queen and essentially use it as a burn spell for 4, which is about the worst that you can get out of Bandit Queen. It's still pretty good.
Yeah, so Tiger was able to clean up both of the units, so Tabo's Bandit Queen didn't get any extra value. Tabo just had to skip his turn 3 entirely. He just drew a power and another Obliterate. So now Tiger sort of flipped the board around, and like even if this Obliterate Instigator and then killing his Titan next turn, Tiger is still going to be out of danger range.
Yeah, Tabu's also, like, he has a tough decision here. If he wants to obliterate, he can obliterate the Archport Instigator to, of course, prevent the damage, prevent the trade, and keep the Bandit Queen alive. But then he gets card drawn off of the Friendly Wisp, and that's really not great for him because Tiger really wants to just be playing a dude every turn in order to stay alive.
Wait, I just noticed, both these players have full premium decks. Is this the shiniest feature match we've ever had?
It's definitely one of the shinier ones.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen this before. I'm quite impressed. So anyways, back to the action. Tiger plays that Titan, which is going to get annihilated, but 6 health means no overwhelm damage, and Tiger is going to be at 8. Well, Tabo is basically out of gas.
Yep, we see...
Although a third Obliterate is quite a pickup.
Obliterate to face.
Oh, he just sends it out the face.
Sending a message. It's about sending a message. Predatory Karna Soria comes down here and kills the Bandit Queen. That gives Tiger the ability to actually attack in.
Yeah, as soon as Tabo drew that second Obliterate, the game was just done, though, right? Like, Tiger has no health gain.
Yeah, there's not really any health gain for Tiger. He can find Healer's Cloaks, I believe, in his side. Or Decays?
Oh, no, Decay is the greatest here. This card doesn't have any attachments at all.
Yeah, he doesn't have any health gain in his main or his sideboard, so this is a pretty rough matchup for him. And it looks like Obliterate number 2.
Number 3.
Probably coming.
That should wrap up the game.
Yeah.
Sometimes all you need is 3 Obliterates and a couple early hits. That's a textbook Stone Scar game. Like, Tiger made the mistake of getting hit once or twice by units, so he got burned out.
That 18 damage mark, you're never safe.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically exactly how it works. Like, he got burned out from 15 there. Like, exactly how I was talking about in the pregame. Like, you take 2 hits from units, you go to 15, like, you take a damage from your Argentport Instigator or whatever, and then all it takes is a couple of Obliterates and you're out.
Yeah, your own Argentport Instigators are definitely working against you here because you really need to preserve your health. It's so nice to have early units, so you can't really side them out, but at the same time, Tiger is just going to have serious problems if multiple Instigators are on the field. He'll take a lot of damage from it, and I almost wonder if he should side them out.
It looks like he has another hand with Instigator. I think he just needs the Instigators, though. Like, otherwise he's taking so much damage from the 1-drops.
Yep, it's pretty tough to deal with the 1-drops. You need to have Suffocates, you need to have Vara's Favors, you need to have Annihilates if you can get them. Like, the Annihilates are actually probably better against the 1-drops than any other unit. I think most of Tabu's higher-end units are hybrid.
All right, this might be where we see the 1/1 Copper Conduit. Yep, there he is.
Oni Ronin on 1. Yeah, so into 1/1 Copper Conduit. Looking pretty good. We have Annihilate in Tiger HC's hand, so he will be able to trade with quite a few units here. Argentport Instigator is going to make those trades hurt, though.
Yeah, so, like, Tiger has some solid blocks. Like, he can Annihilate, he can Dark Return this Conduit and play it as a 3/3 or whatever. Like, he's keeping his head above water. He just needs to dodge a triple Obliterate again.
Yep, I think Annihilate might be a good idea here. Again, just clearing the Argentport Instigator means that you take so much less damage overall. It is nice to Dark Return Copper Conduit here, but he could get it back as a 4/4, and a 4/4 is significantly better than a 3/3 in this matchup.
Yeah, yep, looks like he's passing turn, aiming to Annihilate, and there's no danger of that. Like, Stone Scar can't play any sort of protect shenanigans.
Yeah, there's Protect available or there's Predator's Instinct available for Tiger HC. So once he gets the Copper Conduit down, he can actually use it to kill something and just keep the board clear. That prevents Bandit Queen from becoming too big of an issue, and really anything that he's doing to keep himself at 24 is really, really good here.
Opts to Annihilate now. I'm gonna do it anyways. Might as well stop having to hit continue over and over again.
Yeah, Tabu quarries here, so Tiger knows that there's not going to be like any sort of aggression from him this turn. It's very easy to throw the Annihilate in that circumstance, and we see the Pyro Knight.
Oh, and then Tiger hits a Vara's favor, the perfect draw. He can even still Dark Return that Copper Conduit and have it ready to come down as a 5/5 next turn.
Very useful. Amongst other things, this also means that he can potentially play the 5/5 Copper Conduit and then play a power and have Predator's Instinct, which is really one of the fun things to do with Copper Conduits in general.
Yeah, Tiger is at 25 on turn 4 against Burn Queen. Like, it's looking very, very good for him.
Yeah, there's no board presence from Tabu here, which means he's relying entirely on his burn spells to get him across. That's really not going to work out for him in the long run, and Tiger's actually going to be going to 26 with the Vara's favor.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah, when it draws well, Burn Queen feels unbeatable, but when it draws poorly, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, Tabu has answers to the Dawnwalker, but what are you going to do about a Dawnwalker? It's like, it's always going to come back.
You even know he has the 5/5 Conduit in hand.
So Tiger might take a turn off here, just to play the Copper Conduit and call it a day. He opts for the Vara's favor, 25. And from there, he can play a lot of different things. I think he's really not interested in playing Beastcaller's Amulet. That's just a good way to 2-for-1 yourself, but everything else is looking okay.
Yeah, he probably just gets down the Conduit. He's got these Titans for the next couple turns. He's not going to run out of stuff to do before this game ends. This game is not going to take much longer.
Yep, plays it down as a 4/4 rather than a 5/5. That's totally fine. Those two numbers are essentially the same when it comes to burn.
Especially when it comes to getting annihilated.
Yep, and Dawnwalker and Sandstorm Titan are both options here. I don't know. I think this is all looking pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think there's really a wrong choice for Tiger here. Either way, he's going to clean the game up in 3 turns, even through this Annihilating Torch. So,
yeah, he could do a second Dawnwalker. It's a little bit more susceptible to removal, but it means that he's going to get less removal on his Sandstorm Titan.
Yeah.
So he's not going to pressure out the game quite as fast as he'd like to, but he's winning on value, so it doesn't really matter.
Almost certainly going to be game over for Tabu. Maybe he just concedes to the second Titan immediately.
Yeah, this doesn't look great for him for a lot of reasons. He can Tiger can Predator's Instinct here, but obviously that does draw the torch, so this Pyro Knight's probably going to live to see another day.
Yeah, that's like the best case scenario for Tabu, and it's still not terrible for Tiger.
Yeah, he could put the Beast Colors.
Titan's going to bring back the Dawnwalker.
Yeah, I don't think there's a really like big mistake that Tiger can make. It's all pretty rough, but that Pyro Knight is going to get damage.
Yeah, so I feel like premium Sandstorm Titan at the very least should keep the Scarf. Like, bring back the Scarf.
Oh, the little scarf around the unit.
Yeah, he used to have that purple wavy animation around the edges of his card. They nerfed him. Complains that Titan's OP. He's already been nerfed. They took his scarf away.
Yeah. You see, he gets cold now. It's a problem.
So ultimating this Pyro Knight does make it big enough to block these Dawnwalkers. I think that's probably Tabu's plan here. Otherwise, he can quarry and hope to hit what exactly?
Defensive Pyro Knight is probably the way to do it. Okay, so we have Predator's Instinct on Dawnwalker.
Oh, man. So Tiger can attack with both Dawnwalkers. One gets eaten. Predator's Instinct attack with one. Yeah, Predator's Instinct the other one.
And then if that fails, you just bring them both back. So
yeah,
Do you already have killer on one of those?
No, it got torched in response, so the Predator's Instinct did not resolve. Oh, geez, he gets the 5/5 that brings them both back. That's pretty techie.
Yep. Looking
yeah, that's the instant concede. Doesn't even need to show him the extra Titan. Still had all these. All right, so that means we're moving to sideboard at 1/1.
1/1? That's probably decent. Like, in general, you don't want to lose 2-0 to aggro early on, so that you can get those good sideboards in and really start to tech out in defense. On the other hand, the Xenon deck has a lot of sideboard cards that I think are more aimed at control. Like, he's running cards like Death Strike, Steward of the Past, Xenon Obelisk, Predatory Karna Soria, and Decay, and not so much Suffocate and Annihilate, which are the two cards that I would say are most important to come in against the other deck. He can run Sabotages. Again, I'm still not certain about Sabotages against Burn. It's really nice to be able to throw the Burn card out, but it's better here than it is in the Stonescar Burn matchup that we watched earlier. But
yeah, the Xenon deck doesn't need to play to the board as hard against Burn Queen, so I think that Sabotage is decent just to like protect your higher value units like Titan. You can like Sabotage out and Obliterate or whatever.
Yep, it could be useful. So in any case, we are looking live to the next round, and we're going to see how that goes.
Yeah. So one interesting, Tabu gets to add another Annihilate to his deck, which is just like a 2-mana Death Strike against Xenon Killers. Like, they don't have any multi-faction units.
Very heavy on the late game here, and it's kind of created an awkward situation for him where he's sitting on a pair of Soulfire Drakes and an Impending Doom. If he draws the power to play those cards, I think they are going to really matter for him, but at the same time, the Xenon Killers deck actually generates a fair amount of aggro of its own, and Tabu is potentially power stuck here.
Yeah, he's got just 2 pair in hand. 2 Drakes, 2 Impending Dooms.
Yeah, we see the Dawnwalker come down. Argenport Instigator is already on the board. This is not actually looking very good for Tabu. He's still stuck at 2. He's at least managed to play his power consistently, and finding 3 for champion is the one that he needs.
Yep, so Tiger is going to be able to drop a Conduit to Stonewall both of these until Tabu finds another Shadow, which he does right away. Okay, then. So Impending Doom Train is starting.
Yep, the Impending Doom means that he's not attacking here, so Sandstorm Titan will blockade the Impending Doom, and that puts Tabu back on the drawing board. I don't know if there's any particular attack that he wants to make here.
Yeah, Sandstorm Titan actually going to stall everything. Like, all these Soulfire Drakes and all these Impending Dooms are nothing to the mighty Sandstorm Titan.
Yep, we see that attack with Dawnwalker. It gets away for free because Tiger doesn't want to lose to Laura's favors being spent effectively. One problem that Tabu's having here is that he's now burning himself more than he's burning Tiger. Like, he just does not have an aggressive setup against Sandstorm Titan. He needs Annihilate, he needs better answers. And if he chooses to double block here, he'll lose both of the Impending Dooms.
Yeah, he's on a 3-turn clock here to the Dawnwalker and his own Impending Dooms.
It's pretty ugly. So he does take the blocks.
Oh, he blocks with both. Surely Tiger can't have 2 Vara's favors, right?
Well, yeah, unfortunately that is the case. We're back up to 25, and Tiger has Dark Returns in hand to pick up both of the units that he lost. He can play down a power, get his Amber Monument next turn to get the Dawnwalker back.
So, Pojo,
really,
I'm starting to see a pattern here. The pattern is when Tiger is at 25 health on turn 5, he wins the game.
It happen. So at this point, he probably blocks with Sandstorm Titan just to prevent that 4 damage. There's not really a reason to let Champion of Chaos live longer than it needs to. This card is just too scary. It gets extra damage if it gets to 3 fire. I feel like there's not a lot of value in letting it through, but he does let it through.
I think you let it through because you're ahead by 10 health. Well, 5 now. So like your Titan is actually winning the race against this Burn Queen deck. So you just like keep the Titan so that you can play a more aggressive game.
Yeah, he can pressure out this way. Copper Conduit's an 11/11. He's got a ton of overwhelm damage. So like now if he wants to block with Sandstorm.
Overwhelm against an Argenport Instigator.
Yeah, it's not looking great. Push through. Soulfire Drake doesn't do much here. And Tiger is really looking quite strong. 11, he gets to bring it back again as a 14, well, no, like more like a 20 health unit. It's going to be a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah. Can Tabu even survive this turn?
He can if he blocks a lot. Not
because he's taking 1 damage with each chump block too because of his Instigator.
Yeah, I think if the Sandstorm Titan had attacked in, I'm not certain he would have even been able to live. Like, he would have had to have chump blocked with 1 unit and take a damage. And then that's another 15 points, and there's only so much on the board.
All right, he goes down to 1. So 1 is probably not enough to survive a 18-18 copper conduit.
Yep, it's a little bit of overkill. We actually see the
only
Reinhardt
13-13. He's opting to play the Reinhardt as well.
Fair enough. Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Finds another Soulfire Drake, but that's not really what he's looking for.
Pretty good is indeed how I would describe that board. Pretty good.
Sideboarded himself out. He really has an advantage in the early game, and he kind of sacrificed that for a lot of late game cards. Late game cards that aren't particularly good against Sandstorm Titan on top of that. Like, he has Soulfire Drakes and Impending Dooms, and he just kind of got stymied and stuck.
Yeah, so Tiger with a 2-1 lead now. So, all right, well, Tabo's not changing up his board. He's just hopping right back into it.
All right, we'll see if this late game plan can pay off for him this time around. It looks like it wasn't very effective last time, but we could see some real value out of it. And having a 4-power hand with a 2-drop and a 3-drop is much more in line with what Tabu's trying to do with his current sideboard.
Yeah, this hand looks like it's kind of power heavy, but it looks much better. Just like has like these nice beefy guys with an Annihilate for the first blocker that Tiger presents.
Well, one of the general strengths of these decks, and decks that you see very commonly in the top 8, is that they tend to have a good game if they flood heavy, and they tend to have a good game if they flood light. Like, the Burn Queen decks really want to do a lot of like small aggressive things, but this particular version has, of course, Flame Blast. It has Obliterate. It has ways to basically top out and use up excess power in a way that's really quite effective. I think that like there's definitely some extent to which crew, as the case may be, is something that you can really mitigate if you're a good player and a good deck builder. And this is something that we're seeing Tabu manage, I think, pretty well.
Yeah. So Tiger plays his blocker. I think this just gets annihilated. Or Tiger plays his blocker, gets annihilated. Tabu gets in for another 8. So next turn, he's going to go down to 11, which is in range of 2 burn spells, and Tabu already has 1 Obliterate in hand. So Tiger's gonna need to turn the corner pretty quickly here.
Yeah, there's way too much damage early. The Instigator into Champion wasn't even Tabu's fastest hand, but it's one that Tiger certainly can't deal with. You see a Death Strike on the Champion, and then from there, he's taken 3. And with an Obliterate in hand, that 3 we know is very close to lethal.
Yeah, being on the draw against Burn feels bad. Oh, Sabotage. Very, very nice pickup. So Tabu opts not to just send the Obliterate at face because he doesn't have lethal and might need to clear a unit with it. But then Tiger rips this Sabotage. Oh, but doesn't play it. Instead plays a 5-5 and 2-1 here, it looks like.
Yep, 3 plus an Obliterate. If Tabu has an extra burn spell, he's probably going to play it immediately. Oh, but Impending Doom comes out instead, so Tiger is going to get a chance to kill.
He could Sabotage, Conduit, Power, Predator's Instinct it, kill the 3-3, and that would keep him alive. This line will not keep him alive, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seems pretty important to aim yourself at that 5-5, so his power just doesn't line up enough to sabotage the Obliterate. And this is one of those weaknesses of the Sabotage.
Yeah, the line I suggested was mostly just playing to not lose. You'd still be facing down a Giant Flyer that would kill you the next turn. So I think that Tiger probably made the correct play, given that he can't really win if there's a Giant Flyer in play.
Yep, so doesn't work out for him. Sabotage ends up being not a great card on the draw. It's an okay card to have in your opener, maybe, but yeah, it's just tough and sometimes very unreliable. Can be a very good card in the right matchups.
Yeah, you just need to find the time to play it. All right, so we're going to game 5 here. So it all comes down to this for Tiger and Tabu.
Yeah, one more game. This one determines who's moving on. And
Karna Soria in his deck, post sideboard. Interesting.
I think the Karna Sorias are pretty decent. They do develop the board and then give you a blocker later. Just killing units is always important, and there aren't that many ways for Xenon to. Well, there's plenty of ways for Xenon to interact, but any increase in interactivity just means that you have more ways to kill off all of the big stuff. And considering that Impending Dooms and Soulfire Drakes have both been coming in, Tiger really wants to be able to kill those units.
That's true. It's a good removal spell for those big flyers because, as we keep on saying, you do need to turn the corner quickly against Burn Queen, and a removal spell that leaves us 6/6 behind is a good way to turn the corner.
Tabu was staring down a very tough hand, and he chose to keep it. It's only 2 power. It does have Ronin, though, and it does have Champion. So he's going to try quarrying for that 3rd power, and hopefully he gets it.
Yeah, he's also on the draw. So, like, if he has an undepleted power, he's not even, like, slowed down, really.
Yeah, Suffocate here picks up Ronin. Very easy pickup for Tiger. Easy way to spend that power. And from here, it's just like... Tabu has to play the banner without actually having anything to play it into. That means he can't quarry for a power, and that means he's got to draw a power for Champion in order to be on curve.
That's so he actually drew a Shadow Sigil and chose to play the banner this turn to guarantee that he could Champion next turn instead of playing the Shadow Sigil and quarrying for a power. So
yeah,
he just chooses to guarantee that he can drop a unit.
Yep, he plays the Champion on 3. That's usually pretty relevant, although it is a bit vulnerable to Suffocate. Tiger has Death Strike. He has big dudes to play down. It looks like Tiger's just waiting to Death Strike this Champion because he really doesn't want to see any sort of shenanigans from this unit.
Yeah, he's debating between the Death Strike or playing a 4/4 Conduit. Opts the Death Strike, which ends up being much safer because not only did Tabu rip the power, said he's going to have a... double activated Champion, but if Tabu ripped an undepleted power, then the Conduit couldn't even have blocked the Bandit Queen or the Quick Draw enhanced Champion of Chaos.
Yep, Seed of Chaos secures a pretty decent amount of setup, and Stone Scar Banner means that Tabu's going to be probably sitting on a decent amount of power for the rest of the game. He has all the influence he needs. He has all of his requirements met, so it's really a matter of whether or not these decks can measure up card for card. Karna Soria is going to be pretty useful here. I think Dawnwalker might be useful too.
Yeah, this is really shaping up to be the sort of game where Tiger's going to get that Dawnwalker value. I mean, again, he's at 25 on turn 5. Looking good for him, you know?
Yeah, when you have 1 health like that, you're vulnerable to a lot of stuff, but you can also do things like just chump block a Bandit Queen and then come back from it. It's good stuff.
Yeah, Tabu's hand just kind of developed a little slowly. Like, he only played 2 units in the first 4 turns.
Yeah, he kind of wanted the slow hand. Like, he does have Impending Doom and Soulfire Drakes, but I feel like Tiger's just got a lot better stuff going on. He's playing out Copper Conduit. It's a little bit more resilient than Dawnwalker. He doesn't get as much value out of it, but Tabu is, as always, the aggro deck.
Yeah,
Tiger
Tabu's
chose not to play his
Conduit here and not even bat an eye. He doesn't care.
Yeah, the risk Tiger took in not playing his Varas does pay off. He gets his 6th power on time. That means he gets to Karna Soria the Impending Doom. And now he's so ahead on board that it's going to be really hard for Tabu to come back.
Yeah, you were right about that Karna Soria. Just, it was absolutely crushing there. Like, Tiger had the removal. He was on the play. Tabu stumbled and didn't play units for a couple turns. And so Tiger's able to land that Karna Soria. And now he's got a 6/6. And what is Tabu going to do with that? Spend his Obliterates and Flame Blast, killing all of the units? How does he win then?
2 units on an empty board is really, really bad for Tabu. You basically just have to be killing a unit every turn, and he hasn't done that. So at this point, he can Ronin and Obliterate. That'll give him close to a stable board.
Yeah, but still, that was a 2-for-1. That Karna Soria was a 2-for-1 that gained 6 health, basically. That is fantastic for Tiger.
He's got Vara's favor into Dawnwalker here, and that's not great. Suffocate will kill Bandit Queen. Everything's looking really strong for Tiger at this point, and it looks like he might be advancing.
Yeah, so Tabu can like spend his last couple burn spells to clear up this board, I guess. But then if Tiger ever draws another 5 strength unit, that'll bring back the Dawnwalker and just kind of be game over.
Yep. So Dawnwalker will almost certainly block the Bandit Queen. At which point, Tiger will have Suffocate for it. And he's still pressing with a 5/5, so Flame Blast could pick it up, but yeah, there's not really a lot going on here.
Yeah, I don't know if Tiger even wants to block. Like, he's ahead on health, has a bunch of fat guys in play. Like, I think he just wants to race. I think that actually Tabu
at
probably
this point.
Flame Blast this Conduit this turn.
Yeah, it seems pretty likely that Tabu might do that, and there we go. So Dawnwalker now can attack in. We have Reinhardt available. Everything's looking pretty ugly, but
Yeah.
another 9 damage presented. This is really not going well for Tabu.
Yeah, Tabu needed Tiger to whiff. Tiger drew a 5/5 overwhelm.
Picked up a second Flame Blast, which means that he is clearing the board. If Tiger draws nothing but power from here on out, Tabu could take it back.
Yeah, that's kind of how he wins this game, is Tiger just whiffs for a long time. Although these Suffocates can kill both of Tabu's units.
I'm not actually sure why you would query after Instigator here, since you're probably looking for a better answer.
Played one of those Champions of Chaos. Instead, wouldn't have gotten suffocated.
Yep. Okay, so Champion of Chaos doesn't get suffocated. A card that presents damage. Tiger is out of cards for the moment, and Bandit Queen.
Yeah, if he never draws another 5-strength unit, that's a way that Tabu could win.
Friendly Wisp, that's not a card that helps him. Tiger can pull into a lot of things that don't help him here. Additional Suffocates, Friendly Wisps are really bad. Vara's Favor doesn't help him anymore. Any power.
The Wisp does mean that a 5-strength unit is like even more game-ending. All right, Tabu rips another guy. All right, well, Copper Conduit is pretty good.
That's a really rough setup. Tiger can now press for 5 damage, 4 damage, 5 damage.
Draws another Conduit.
And the Suffocate is really, really ugly there. So that's 4 health that Tabu can deal in damage.
Tiger there, instead of playing the power out of his hand to get a 6/6 Conduit, he held it so that he could play whatever he drew, and he was rewarded by drawing a Suffocate he could then play. And he's rewarded again by winning the match and moving on.
Yep, so very smart play from Tiger. The deck is showing its strength quite well at this particular Invitational. It had a good matchup against the Burn deck, and it looks like it has knocked it out. So we'll see him moving on, and good luck to him in the event. Tabu, the first Burn Queen deck to fall out of the top 8. Is that correct?
Yes, because the other one is Child Roland waiting in Winners Finals, which we will be coming to next. So stay tuned.
Yeah, see you guys then.